So we're going to talk about expressing breast milk versus breastfeeding on the breast. Okay, so without a doubt, it's really obvious that it's actually healthier for a child. Well, for me it's obvious, some of you might not be obvious, but it is really healthy for a child to be suckling on the breast as opposed to drinking expressed breast milk. And some of you are probably wondering why, because it comes from the same source and it's still breast milk. Now, if you can't get a hold of breast milk, then yes, getting expressed breast milk is definitely like the way to go. But when you have the option and you know you're lucky enough to have breast milk and to be able to feed your baby breast milk, then it's better to feed them on the breast as opposed to express and then feed them through the, with the bottle. So the reason why is, number one, when you breastfeed, the baby and the breast kind of, in a way, communicate with each other. So, for example, if the baby's sick and you're breastfeeding, obviously the breast milk will help them. But what happens is the breast actually accompanies, like it links with the baby. It links with the baby and it connects with the baby and it recognizes that the baby's sick. And then what happens is the breast creates antibodies and it creates certain chemicals to help the baby heal faster, which is really, really cool. And what also happens, some people think that they shouldn't breastfeed when the mum's sick, but that's not the case, because what happens is the breast kind of recognizes that the mum's sick and then it creates antibodies. So while the baby's suckling, it creates antibodies. It recognizes that the mum's sick and it creates antibodies, so the baby, it reduces the chance of the baby catching whatever the mum has, which is also really cool. So the fact is that the breast, when you breastfeed, it communicates with the baby and it creates antibodies for the baby and it links with the baby, and the baby actually communicates with the breast with actually what it needs. It's really, really cool. So when you express, the baby doesn't get to have that communication with the source. It has the communication with the bottle, and so nothing happens to the breast milk. It doesn't change when they're sick or anything like that. So expressing has the downside. Okay, number two, when you express, it actually separates the foremilk. It separates the foremilk to the hindmilk. So when you express, you get foremilk first and then the hindmilk. When you breastfeed and the baby connects with your breast, it doesn't separate the foremilk and the hindmilk. They're actually together and the baby's getting both of them together. Did you know that? Well, that's actually what happens. It's just when you express, it separates it, because it's a different kind of suckle when you express. It's different to the way the baby sucks on your breast. Isn't it? Yes, it is. Oh, I hope you're not getting hungry because of all this talk. So, yeah. Now, this isn't actually an empty phone case, so just so you know, I'm not letting her just play with phones. So yeah, so number two, that's why it's better to breastfeed, because it doesn't separate the foremilk and the hindmilk, as opposed to expressing, it does separate the foremilk and the hindmilk. Okay, the third reason why it's really important to breastfeed instead of expressing is because, like I said in my first tip, the baby connects with the boob. It connects with the milk. And it actually communicates with how much they need. Okay, there's a specific amount that they need, and you know, every month or so it changes. When they're sick, it changes. They want a little bit more, so your boob adjusts. When you express, you end up making more than what the baby needs. When you express, you end up tricking the breast into thinking that the baby needs more. So what happens is you end up with an imbalance of fore milk and hind milk. So, you know, when it's the baby connecting, you don't end up with an imbalance. There's a perfect fore milk, hind milk, and, you know, it's getting both together. But when you express, you end up with a fore milk and hind milk imbalance. You trick your breast into thinking it needs more. You end up with this massive boob that's just like squirting everywhere. And then when you put the baby on it, what happens? The flow's going fast. There's so much fore milk because it's just like overflowing. And when you produce more than what the baby needs, then your baby ends up getting really, really bad stomach aches, really bad gas, reflux. They get really, really fussy. And why do I know this? Is because I was expressing at one period of time when I had like a cracked nipple. I ended up expressing from one of my breasts, and what I realized is like all of a sudden I was producing way too much milk, and then she was really, really fussy on the breast. Because I ended up producing more than what she needed. And then once I let go, and once I just trusted and just kept letting her suckle on my sore nipple, my boob adjusted, and then she became less and less fussy. So everything I'm speaking of in my videos is merely from experience and through research that I've done, like extensive research. I'm the sort of person that just does research on everything, especially when it's got to do with my baby. And I'm sure all you mothers out there are the same. That's why you've come to this video. So I hope my video has been beneficial. If you're not able to breastfeed, like I've mentioned in my other videos, then, you know, getting express breast milk, going to like a donor bank where they have breast milk is like definitely the best option. And like I've said in my other videos, if, you know, if that's just too much for you, then, you know, go organic formula. Goat's milk formula is probably the best one that I would go for if that was like my only option. If formula was my options. Then I would go the goat's milk and the organic brand, and I would include lots of probiotics in my baby's diet because they're not getting it from the breast milk. So yeah, I hope my tips are helping you. I've got way more to get through, so I'll be posting them up soon. Thanks, bye. Christina, come say goodbye. Oh, come say goodbye. Come say goodbye. Come say goodbye. Look. Look up here. Look. Oh, wow. My fingers. Ooh, it's really long. Hi. You